Greetings, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube. I am Charles Taylor, and I got Patrick Brackett back with me. Say what's up, Patrick.
It's NFL, baby. NFL.
That's right.
Hope y'all ready.
That's right. As Patrick said, this is the NFL preview show. So in this episode, we are going to pick who we think is going to win each division. We're going to pick out the two wildcard teams from each conference, and then ultimately who we think will be in the Super Bowl. So Patrick, let's just get started. Let's jump right into an easy money division, the AFC East. Yeah. So look, Patrick, do we really need to spend too much time on this division?
We can spend 2 minutes.
2 minutes? All right, cool.
Here's my spiel. I got the New England Patriots winning this pretty handily, probably 12 games to 4. Or
with the 12
and 4 record. I will say this. Miami has just gotten better because of Jay Cutler. I'm done.
You know what's really funny about that? I feel the same way because you know how I feel about Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill. Might as well have
I never thought out there. That good. I'm not trying to see him get hurt, of course, but yeah, I do believe Jay Cutler is a little bit better than Tannehill, and so, but Miami could push for a wild card. I mean, they did make the playoffs last year. They could push for a wild card if they continue just kind of improving from last season. They ran the ball well with Jay Ajayi, and their defense continued to improve as well. So Miami could be interesting, but no, they're not going to challenge New England for the division. I have the Patriots. What'd you say?
Easy second place.
Yeah, easy second place because Buffalo and the New York Jets have just thrown away the seasons. So you know what? Look, real quick, Patrick, I have to point this out before we move on to the AFC North. New York City, check this out. They have the Jets, the Nets, and the Mets all garbage, and they rhyme.
And they run.
And they rhyme. And Patrick, look, I know this is not football, but I'm still laughing that the Mets mascot got suspended for flicking a fan off, and he got 4 fingers.
I don't even know how that works.
They can't flick anybody off. But, all right, man. We gotta get back. I just wanted to point that out. I'm sorry, man, but the Jets and the Bills, hot trash. Yes, New England should win that division, 12-4, maybe even 13-3. I think they're gonna win all 6 games in the division, and they'll probably win another 7. Now they will have tough schedule playing against the AFC West, so that means you got to see Oakland, Kansas City, Denver, and whatever they are, San Diego, LA, whatever, LA, I guess. So
well, they're LA now.
Yeah, they're LA now. They'll go back to San Diego next year. But yeah,
Sacramento later.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, New England. New England winning that division pretty handily. All right. Let's go to the AFC North, Patrick. I still see Pittsburgh winning that division. Cincinnati, it's the same story with them. All the talent in the world. As much talent as any team in the league if you look at them from top to bottom, but they're knuckleheads. So you don't know if they can get out of their own way. Yeah. And Andy Dalton, he isn't the quarterback who's going to take them to the next level. I've never looked at him as that guy, and I don't think that's going to change this year. Baltimore, too iffy, man. I mean, they're there. You know they'll compete, But you don't know if they have what it takes, and then you got Cleveland. So, Patrick, what do you think? Yeah.
So, I got Pittsburgh. They should win all the games in their division pretty handily. I mean, I see they're just like the Patriots. I don't see anybody that can test them in any way. Cincinnati will come in second, but
I can see Pittsburgh losing a game potentially to Baltimore only because of that rivalry, and Baltimore always just seems to play them tough. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I think they'll go 5-1, 6-0. Well,
6-0.
All right. Well, we're moving right along with this one, Patrick. But this one might be a little bit tough. I want to hear your opinions on this one. So we got the AFC South, and we got Tennessee, Houston, Indianapolis, and Jacksonville. Now, I think between Tennessee and Houston, this might be pretty interesting. But who do you have on this one?
Well, I mean, we can rule out Jacksonville from the get-go. I mean, yeah, we'll just rule them out from the get-go. Houston, Tennessee, those are this is the only two. I don't see Indianapolis doing too much. Andrew Luck's injured, and they're not doing anything.
Indianapolis is trash, dude.
Indianapolis sucks. Trash. Their defense can't stop anybody. Their offense can't stop anybody. Their special teams can't stop anybody. The only thing that's stopping anybody is Andrew Luck's beard, and that's only because it looks like a jungle and you can't get through it.
Yeah, he needs to shave that.
I'm probably going to go with Houston. I'll go with Houston winning this division.
Yeah. So about that, well, I agree with you first off, but the trending pick is Tennessee. A lot of people like what Tennessee has done in the offseason, getting some more weapons to help out Marcus Mariota. But to me, that's the question mark. Well, and I guess if you want to look at Houston, that's the question mark too. That's always been the question mark with Houston, is the quarterback situation. But I do believe Deshaun Watson will establish himself as the starter. If he is able to do that, I can put Houston up there with Pittsburgh and Oakland, which we'll talk about here in a minute, below New England in that tier, because Houston's defense is good. They have a very good defense, and they have weapons. They got DeAndre Hopkins. They have Lamar Miller in the backfield. Will Fuller, he's hurt right now, but he'll be back. So they have weapons. They signed the tight end. I forget his name. It's CJ something, like Fedorowicz or something. I can't remember his name. It's some long name. But they just signed him. He's a pretty good tight end. And, yeah, if Deshaun Watson can take that over, yeah, I like Houston as well. Tennessee, that's the question mark. Can Marcus Mariota stay healthy? He's always been a durability issue, even going back to Oregon days.
Yeah,
he's not durable. And so that's the question mark for me when it comes to Tennessee. They have the running game. They have the big physical offensive line, some receivers via the draft. Defense is also a little iffy to me too, because I don't know how good their secondary is going to be. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I still have Houston winning that division.
I do too. I think they'll split with Tennessee, but they should win the other two, the other 4 games pretty handily. I think Texas will go 5-1, and I think Tennessee will go 5-1 in conference too, or in division. But who does the South have? They're
going to play the North.
The North, and that's where I think this gets separated. I mean, you're playing Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh beats Tennessee both times. I think Houston splits that, and I think that's where it's going to be the difference. I just think the Texans have. I think they have what they need in defense. Their strong defense, and Watson will probably establish himself as starting quarterback pretty quickly. He's already made huge strides in the preseason, showing, hey, look, I can do this. Let me have it. We know it's preseason, but still, when you put up the numbers that Watson put up in the preseason, you can't help but to take notice. So I got Houston.
All right, man. So 3 for 3 right now. So we got
4 after this one too.
Yeah, man. So we was this AFC West. So we got Oakland, Denver, Kansas City, and San Diego. Now, if you remember the show last year, Patrick, I said
Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did I say San Diego? Yeah, I sure did. Thanks, Patrick.
I got it.
All right. Oh my God, the LA Chargers. And they're playing in the soccer stadium, man. They're gonna have like 20, 25,000 people in their stadiums. That's pathetic. But anyway. Yes, the LA Chargers. So this is a tough division. Make no mistake about it, man. You have Oakland, Kansas City, Denver, and you know the LA Chargers have the talent to do something, but they can't quite put it together. But you know they're dangerous. When they have Phillip Rivers, if he's playing at an elite level, they're capable of beating anybody. At the receiving core, they're capable of beating anybody. But I don't expect LA to do that. So last year, I said the Oakland Raiders were about a year away from winning the division. They probably should have won the division last year.
They were an injury away from winning it.
Yeah, and I ended up picking Kansas City. And Kansas City did win it. Well, here we are, a year away. I think Oakland will win this division. I think Oakland can get it about an 11-5, 12-4. Gotcha. And so, yep, I have Oakland winning. Again, it'll be tough. And if Denver can get some good quarterback play from Trevor Siemian, with that defense, Denver's going to be right there as well. But, yes, I think Oakland's ready to make that step. They have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. Derek Carr's back healthy. Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree. And I think the defense will improve to go ahead and make a difference in the division and not winning the division. So, yes, I have the Raiders winning the division.
Well, you obviously know who I got.
Well, you picked them last year, so I know.
Last year. They should have won it last year. Let's be honest. They should have won it last year.
A game lead.
With Derek Carr. No, I got them this year, and I think they'll handle business. Like you said, all those names: Carr, Cooper, Crabtree, list goes on. And I think their defense is going to. I think their defense has improved. So yeah, I have no problem. 4 for 4. I got the Raiders.
Okay, so let's. All right. Oh, before we move on, who are your 2 wild card teams in the AFC?
We might go 5 for 5 or 5 for 6 with this one.
All right.
That AFC West is strong, man. I got Kansas City and Denver.
It's good picks. Man.
And the only reason why I have that is because the AFC West plays the East, and I think Miami gets knocked out because of that. So, Kansas City and Denver.
Yeah, Miami and Tennessee are interesting to me. I think they could be in that running. Kansas City and Denver, that's very good, man. But I think one of those teams won't make it. I don't know what's telling me that, but I think one of those teams may not make it, and Tennessee might take that spot. So
I think you're going to drop Denver. You're going to drop. You're probably going to drop Denver. This is what I thought you would do. I figured you'd pick Tennessee over Denver.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't. I'm not too confident about this one, though. I mean, I really don't know, because I think Miami will be better with Jay Cutler in there. And I know people are like, what, you think they're going to be better with Jay Cutler? Yes, I do. Better than Ryan Tannehill. Yes. I will take him over Ryan Tannehill any day of the week. So
and let's point this out. The head coach that is the head coach for Miami drafted Jay Cutler when he was in Chicago, and it was one of his best years he ever had.
yeah, he was the offensive coordinator there.
Offensive coordinator.
And yes, you're right. Best statistical year, or at least definitely in terms of taking care of the ball. So, man, I mean, that's going to be a tough one for me, man. I think Kansas City is in there to me. I do have Kansas City in there because Alex Smith might lose that job. He might, because if he's not going to push the ball down the field, man, I think they're at the point now where they're saying, hey, dude, we got Patrick Mahomes, this live arm out of Texas Tech, who will just throw it. He got a lot of Brett Favre in him. Like, he'll just throw the ball down the field just because. So, but they want to push the ball. They're trying to be more aggressive in Kansas City, and they have a very good defense as well. So I think Kansas City is in there. And then it's between Denver and Tennessee and Miami to me. And I'm going to, you know what? I picked about Denver too. He made me a believer. I'm going Denver. I'm going to go Denver, man, because we were talking about Trevor Siemian, and before he got hurt, he was good. He was fine last year. And so now he's back in there. If he can stay healthy, 17 to 20 points with that Denver defense, I think he'll be good. So, yeah, I agree with you, Patrick. I think I have 3 teams coming out of the AFC West for the playoffs.
I thought for it for almost 2 weeks, man. I was like, do I want to go? Because I felt the same way about Miami. I wanted to go with Miami, especially since they paid up Jay Cutler. And I want to go with them because they made it last year. It wasn't compelling wins, but they were wins. And I think they
grinded them out.
Yeah, grinding them out. And it was due mostly to their defense. Well, now their offense has improved with Jay Cutler. I don't care what anybody says. Jay Cutler improved that team. And with him being there, I want to go with Miami. I really do. But I can't. I want to, but I can't. And Tennessee, I mean, Mariota, Tennessee loses Mariota, and that's a wrap for their offense.
And you can't trust his durability. He has
that durability. And so I got to looking at it, man, and I don't feel any comfortable with any other team. And Simeon just, before he was killing it, dude. He was killing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Not many people, as an analyst or anything like that, have 3 coming out of the West. I think I've only seen one that has 3 coming out of the West. And I agree with it, man. I think the Raiders are going to win it, and I think Kansas City will be the first wild card, and Denver's going to be the second.
Well, that division is definitely the toughest in the AFC.
Yes.
There's no doubt that is the toughest division in the AFC, and you can make an argument it's the toughest in the NFL. A couple of those NFC divisions, I think, could get with them, and we'll talk about those. Definitely we'll talk about them, of course, but definitely the NFC South can be very, very tough depending on how that falls into. But to go over to the NFC, Patrick, we'll start with the NFC East. So that is Dallas, Philadelphia, the New York Giants, and Washington. So to me, looking at those teams, Philadelphia is interesting to me because if Philadelphia can get everything to come together with their offense, you got Carson Wentz coming into his second year, and then they picked up Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith to help that receiving core. They got LeGarrette Blount running the ball, and you still have Darren Sproles, who's a nightmare still to this day, a nightmare. And then, their defense. That's the question mark for Philadelphia. You wonder if they can hold up on defense. But if all that comes together, they are interesting to me. Washington, they have talent, but I don't think they have enough quite to compete for the division. I think there's still too many question marks there and really durability issues. Like, for example, the tight end Jordan Reed. Beast tight end, always hurt.
Always.
So, to me, that division is between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. And I'm going to pick Dallas to win this division because I don't trust the Giants' offensive line and their lack of a running game. And if you're looking at the Giants' defense, ready. Dude. The defense is one of the best in the league with the people they have. Olivier Vernon and Jason Pierre-Paul running the coming around those ends. And then in the secondary, those corners with Janoris Jenkins, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Eli Apple in his second year, and Landon Collins. You could have made a case for him at the safety of winning Defensive Player of the Year. He was that good last year. So the Giants' defense is ready, but because of the lack of a running game, that means you have to trust Eli Manning, and that can go either way in a hurry. So I'm going to stick with Dallas to win this division with around a 10-6, 11-5 record.
100% agree with you, man. It's hard to go against the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he made a compelling argument last year. You can't go wrong with that. You're going to get Ezekiel Elliott for one game, and then you're going to lose him for 6. But me personally, that's not a drop off. You got Darren McFadden, and you got who's the other cat?
Alfred Morris.
They're quite capable of handling what Ezekiel Elliott is leaving.
And Patrick, real quick, I just wanted to throw this out there with the running back position. Let's be honest, man. The running back position, it's just not that valuable these days. Or in terms of positioning. When you're looking at the running back position, a lot of these teams are running 3 running backs anyway. So, yeah, look, Ezekiel Elliott is I would call him a difference maker in the standpoint of he has kind of like that home run speed to where he could break a run and turn it into a 60, 70-yard run. But, yeah, Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris can more, like you said, they're more than capable of keeping everything going. And last time I checked, the Dallas offensive line is still big and physical. So as long as they have those guys there, then, yeah, I think the running game will be all right. If there is a question mark about Dallas, it's their defense because they have a lot of youth in the secondary. But I think they can pick that up. So I'm sorry, man. I just wanted to throw that out there about the running backs.
No, you're good. You actually said what I was going to say. Big question mark in the secondary on the defense. But that's really the only question mark that I really, truly have for that defense, that Dallas defense. As far as offense, look, Darren McFadden can start for 31 other teams, and so can Alfred Morris. I hate to tell you, but you know, if you look at Zeke and say, man, you are sorely needed in Dallas, you're not, bro. You're not. And Darren McFadden is honestly a better blocker than Zeke is anyway. So when you look at overall, what does Ezekiel Elliott bring to that offense? Big play. That's it. But Dak Prescott can make up for that. Darren McFadden can make up for that, and so can Alfred Morris. And then, I mean, let's be honest. He's still got Dez Bryant. Come on. I mean, yeah. So I got Dallas winning. I got them with 11-5 record. Same as you. You said 10-6, 11-5. I think 11-5 will be plenty enough to win that division. See, this is the only thing I have a difference with you is, and this is not coming very lightly from a person like me. I don't think the division comes between Dallas and New York. I think it becomes between Dallas and Philadelphia.
Do you?
Yeah. Philadelphia, this is the first time I have ever seen this city, and I'm talking about baseball, basketball, or baseball, hockey, football, you name the sport, whatever. This is the first time I've ever seen them actually spend money to get players to play. They're not throwing a game away. So I think this one comes down to Dallas and Philadelphia. Dallas wins, but I think Philadelphia makes a better team than Eli Manning in New York.
Okay, the Giants, they have to find a running game. If they can find that running game, then the Giants. Look, honestly, Patrick, if the Giants had a running game,
I would have them win in the division.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can make a run to the Super Bowl if they were able to find a running game.
But they're very one-dimensional on offense, and that's not going to do it in this league.
Yep. So
especially when you got Eli Manning throwing the ball, I just don't feel it. I mean, you become two-dimensional. Eli Manning becomes a little bit better. Exactly. Eli Manning becomes a little bit better. Right now, all you have to do is cover Odell. That's it. You're good. You're going to throw a double team on him, and he's not going to get all these yards he says he's going to get. So I think Philadelphia does better than New York.
And that's the thing, man, because like I said, man, Philadelphia, they're interesting.
They are.
But I think they have to come together. And they do. They can spice some things up in the NFC for sure. But yeah, you have to sum it up, man. We both got Dallas. So and I think we'll probably agree with this next division too, the NFC North. So is it Green Bay and everybody else in this division, Patrick?
Yeah. Who else is going to challenge them? Minnesota, please. Chicago, 3 years away. Detroit, no. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I don't even have a wild card coming out of this. It's Green Bay. Green Bay handles it. And I actually got Green Bay with a pretty good record. I got them with 13-3.
Yeah, Green Bay to me, and yeah, I agree with you, man. I think Green Bay has the potential to have the best record in the league. I think the defense starting to improve a little bit, and then of course you have that man, you have Aaron Rodgers back there, and so when you have that guy, you're capable of doing some things. So. Yeah, I mean, that's what I have. Minnesota, nah, man. I mean, if Minnesota can run the football better than they did last year, they have a shot. They'll have a shot because their defense is good.
They have a shot at a second seed wild card. That's it.
Yeah. They still have Sam Bradford playing quarterback, so no. Chicago's garbage, and Chicago's garbage. Man. Now, look, they have a lot of young talent. They're just not there yet, I guess. But Chicago. They're Chicago. Patrick, Chicago getting close to New York Jet status, man. I'm sorry. They getting close. You're gonna see the bear mascot flicking off people with 3 fingers. How many fingers does a bear have? I think they're getting close to. I think they're getting close to that status. Don't ask me what got me to thinking about that again, but I'm so sorry.
I can see that bear doing it too.
Yeah, in Chicago.
You know what's sad? You know what's sad about it? It would be widely accepted coming from Chicago.
Yeah.
It would. I mean, everybody like, oh, that's the Chicago flipping everybody off.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Whatever.
So, and then Detroit, same thing as it is with the Giants, man. They have no running game. So Matthew Stafford is more than capable of doing some good things. I mean, I like Matthew Stafford. I think he's a good quarterback.
But you got to help him out.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of a running game to help him out there.
Some sort of running game. You got to get an offensive line that can protect him. They don't have anything. It's Matthew Stafford. It's like the division. It's Matthew Stafford and everybody else.
Yep.
And he is never going to be successful in Detroit until they get him a running game, a line, and some more wide receivers.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate because you're going to sit and watch Matthew Stafford waste his career away in Detroit. And what did I say 4 years ago or 6 years ago when they drafted him? It's sad. He's going to waste his career away in Detroit.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like it's happening, unfortunately for him. But yeah, Detroit got to get a running game somehow. Unless they find it, then yeah, it's going to be Green Bay just kind of doing what they do, win the NFC North. So, well, let's get to the most interesting division, I think, the NFC South. This division, Patrick, it seems like you have a different winner in this division every year. It's hard for a team in this division to repeat as the champion. Carolina, I think, did it in a row. Yeah, they did it 3 years in a row, 2013, 2014, and 15. But before that, I think they had a different winner
for past
every year. Yeah. And then Atlanta, of course, won last year. So, Patrick, this one is pretty interesting because I think Carolina will be better than they were last year. I believe Cam Newton will recover from his year from last year. They will have a little bit more balance in their game. I think the defense will be close to what they were when they went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Kuechly can stay healthy, and then the dudes inside, K1 Short Star, Latulele, I can never say his name, but we're going to go with it. And and we'll see what happens. Atlanta, to me, talent is there. We know the talent is there for Atlanta. The defense looks like they will be better because they had a lot of young talent playing last year. I don't know where their psyche is, Patrick. I don't know. I don't know if they have shaken off this Super Bowl loss. So I look at Tampa Bay and I say, man, Tampa Bay looks like they're building something down there. Jameis Winston, in his third year, to make that step, they picked up Deshaun Jackson to join Mike Evans down there, which will open up some things because Deshaun Jackson is that deep threat. Their defense is improving, and then you got New Orleans. So back to Tampa Bay. Look, all right. Look, I'll give a little honorable mention to New Orleans. New Orleans, they'll score. That's it. Yeah. Drew Brees will put up numbers. They have Adrian Peterson and Mark Ingram running the football. A lot of people like Mike Thomas as the receiver to really have a big season for them since Brandon Cooks moved on to New England. But
question mark. Defense. Huh? The question mark. Defense. Yeah. And there's two words. Defensive line and defensive secondary.
Yeah, the defense is it'll probably be historically bad. So like it always seems to be with New Orleans. They got a new defensive coordinator. I think it's Dennis Allen, who was the head coach of the Oakland Raiders not too long ago. I'd say a few years ago before Jack Del Rio took over. But yeah, I think New Orleans finishes last in that division, and this might surprise you. I think Tampa Bay right now looks about the surest thing to me. I don't know where Atlanta's psyche is, and I don't necessarily know what to expect from Carolina. I know what I think may happen with Carolina and Atlanta, but I'm just not for sure.
Yeah.
I think Tampa Bay to win this division, man. I think Tampa Bay rises up and gets this bad boy. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta or Carolina won it, but I'm going to pick Tampa Bay.
Well, that's a good pick, man. And it goes back on what you said with Atlanta. Where's their psyche at? In Carolina, you just don't know what to expect. And this is, believe me, I want to pick Tampa Bay with this. And obviously, you know who I'm going to pick. but I want to pick Tampa Bay because, and it's the only reason why I feel Tampa Bay could do it. They have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose, and that makes a scary, scary team. Nobody expects them to do much. Nobody's expecting them to come out and win a division. Nobody's expecting them to win a Super Bowl. They're expecting them to do what Tampa Bay normally does. Finish third with a winning record, and they're happy with that. Tampa Bay's not – Jameis Winston is not in it to go 8-8. And that is what makes Tampa Bay so freaking scary. Nothing to lose. Nobody's expecting them to do anything. With that being said, I think Atlanta's psyche is fine. If they would have lost to somebody like Pittsburgh, Oakland, I would be more curious about their psyche. You're losing to Tom Brady, who wins every freaking Super Bowl there is right now anyway, and I don't think that messes with a lot of people's psyche as much as some would say. And again, just opinion. I think Atlanta wins this division, and I think they win it going against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay scares me. Tampa Bay scares me a lot, and I'm curious. I'm curious about Carolina's offense. That is a huge question mark. Does Cam Newton have that leadership ability to grow again? That's my biggest question. Can he grow yet again? And I hate the fact that he keeps getting put in these situations where it falls all on him. You can know a good leader when you look at Russell Westbrook and he's like, no, we're a team. My fault. We lost. Cam Newton has had sometimes the ability to want to point fingers. Now, I know last year when the year before, whenever it was, when he lost the Super Bowl, he took that on. Last year, he had a problem with taking that on again because it really wasn't all his fault. A lot of wide receivers were dropping balls last year. But he's got to be that leader. He's got to be that man that says, you know what, that was my fault. Even though I hit you in the hands, hey, my fault, I should have done it better. Can he be that leader? And it sucks that he keeps being put in that situation. So it raises a question mark with the offense. New Orleans defense, huge question marks all over defense, man. I don't think they can do much. I think Atlanta has made the proper moves. I think they've gotten a lot of youth. I think they're ready. The brotherhood is in full effect. But that Tampa Bay team scares me. I got Atlanta winning the division, though.
All right, man. Real quick. Who do you think is faster between Julio Jones and Dez Bryant? My dad and I was having a discussion about this. I picked Julio Jones.
I would say Julio Jones. I would be more curious. I would be more curious about who has the better hands.
I'm gonna go Dez there.
I would too.
Yeah,
but you know, when you look at Julio Jones and Dez Bryant and what both of them, I mean, they're the same style. They're the same style wide receiver, and you have to look at Julio Jones and what does he bring to the table, and look at Dez Bryant and what he brings to the table. Who's the fastest wide receiver? Julio Jones. Who's the best with hands? Dez Bryant. Who is the better all-around wide receiver? Dez Bryant. Speed can only get you so far. You got to catch the ball. I got Dez Bryant as the best wide receiver.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget that, man, before you move on to the NFC West, about Dez. Dez, 14, I think it was. It was like the second or third best receiver in the league. I mean, I think Antonio Brown's the best still. And
I agree.
Yeah, and Dez was right there. Maybe number 2, number 3. He had a tough 2015 season, and he looked like he was starting to get his status back toward the end of last season. Started finding that chemistry with Dak Prescott. He started looking like that dude that we saw in 2014. So a lot of people forget that, though. And it's like, no, man, Dez Bryant is still a beast. So the NFC West, I'm going to pick Seattle by default. I mean, Arizona to me is not good. A lot of people think they are, but they're not. Arizona's not that good. Palmer back there, who's a statue. And if you get pressure on him, he's going to turn the ball over. It's just that simple. He's going to turn the ball over.
Does it every time. Either a fumble or an interception.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And, I mean, they have a very good running back in David Johnson. Very good running back. But they don't really have anybody to throw to besides Larry Fitzgerald. Guys, they can't stay healthy or something's wrong where there's no consistency there. And they have talent on defense. They have Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu back there. Chandler Jones is up on the line with Calais Campbell. But I don't see where Arizona really improved themselves. So I really don't know if they're going to get to 500. Yeah, I think going like 7-9. And then you got the Rams, garbage. And then you got us, garbage. Unfortunately, we're rebuilding. We have a new GM in there, new head coach. So it'll be a while.
Y'all sold out. Y'all are rebuilding everything. San Francisco's like the Atlanta Braves, man. They're non-existent for a couple of years, and they'll come back. I mean, San Francisco always does. But next couple of years, man, just chalk it up, man. It's gonna be a losing season.
Oh yeah, man. I'll be happy with 5 wins. Yeah, man. Seattle will probably win the division, and I'm only picking them because the other 3 teams in there, Arizona, the LA Rams, and Niners, just not that good, man. It's not that good.
I agree with you. I got Seattle again by default.
Because I honestly don't think Seattle's all that high, but
I don't either.
But I mean, because of the division they play in, they'll probably get 10, 11 wins. Ugh, I don't know. Well, all right. So we have Seattle, or no, I have Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Dallas, and you have Seattle, Atlanta, Green Bay, and Dallas. So who are your wild cards in the NFC?
Well, I got the Buccaneers as one of my wild cards, and you're going to be like, damn, Patrick, you're going crazy, man. I got Philadelphia as my other wild card, man. I do, man. I like the team, man. I do. And
I have never, ever heard you talk this nicely about Philadelphia, period.
Oh, believe me. Let them not make the playoffs and see what happens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're good.
No, they're making moves to be better. And I can respect that. I mean, I don't see anybody else doing it. I mean, maybe Carolina, but I don't feel confident picking in the NFC. I do not feel confident picking 2 of the same teams coming out of the South like I do in the AFC with Kansas City and Denver. So I got Tampa Bay, and I mean, Tampa Bay scares me. And I like Philadelphia, man. I don't think anybody else can rise up to take that spot. So I got Philly.
All right. Good picks. I'm going to go. I do think the Giants will get one of the wild cards. I do. I think their defense is good enough. Victories out, and they match up well with Dallas in the division because of the defensive line matching up with their offensive line, so they can contain the running game a little bit. I still have the Giants getting one, and the other one, I know this for sure. It will come out of the NFC South. So I guess that would be between Atlanta and Carolina. And man, I don't know who to go with. Do I really want to just knock the Falcons out of the playoffs altogether? I don't know. But
I mean, they were Super Bowl. They were in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And they gave New England everything they could give them.
True. But Patrick, man, I'm not trusting that psyche, man. I'm going Carolina. I think Carolina is in there, man. Atlanta, to me, man, I don't know. I just think that loss that was a devastating loss, and I could be wrong. Atlanta could have that mindset to come out there and say, you know what happened last year happened last year. So we're coming. We're all right. It's out of our system. Let's get it. The start of the season is going to be interesting to me for Atlanta, because if Atlanta gets off to a 2-2, 1-3 start, could get a little interesting.
I'm going to start getting nervous.
Yeah, it could get a little interesting. Now, their schedule looks to be easy. They have Chicago, they have Jacksonville. I think their toughest game out of the first games, because I was going through the schedule with my nephew. They have a game against Green Bay, which will be at home, and then I think it's in week 7 or 8, they go to New England. 2 games, yeah, and so those 2 games, we'll see. But the rest, because I think they have, like I said, Jacksonville, Chicago, at Detroit could be interesting. Could be interesting there, because the Detroit plays stuff at home. I don't know, man. Atlanta psyche, man. I don't know where it's at. I mean, because it could go either way. So yeah, man. Carolina.
It's a hard pick, man. I mean, you want Atlanta is one of those teams where you want to pick them, but when you lose a 28-3 game and it be the Super Bowl, that's tough. That's tough. I like to. I have faith in my boys. I do. Now, don't get me wrong. The one I'm having a struggle with is Philly over Carolina, and I want to pick 2 teams out of the South. I really, truly do, man. But I don't. They're going to beat up on each other. You know what I mean? They're going to beat up on each other, and I feel a lot more comfortable with the West or in the AFC West, because I mean, I know they're going to beat up on each other, but there's a lot of chances that, you know, with who the West plays, that's the biggest thing, and who the South plays, man. They got the NFC North, and the only team out of that is the Packers, and that's what really wants me to go with Carolina. But the NFC East has the NFC West, and there's only nobody in there. So,
yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I mean, I look at Philly and I think they have the better chance than Carolina, because I think that deciding game might be the Packers, man. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the NFC South, but the NFC East has it pretty cake, man, personally. So I got Philly. I think Philly can get that second spot.
All right, man. And last but not least, Patrick, we have to make our Super Bowl picks. Now, I almost have the Packers and Raiders. I almost have it. Almost.
I'm right there with you, dude. Almost.
Yeah, almost. But no, I'm going to say the Packers and Patriots right now. Yeah, New England, to me, in the AFC is pretty solid above everybody else in my eyes. Now, could Oakland beat them? Yes. Oakland, I think, could beat them, because one thing, I actually give Oakland the best chance. Now, normally I would say Pittsburgh, but after what I saw in that AFC Championship game last year, I don't have the confidence they're going to be aggressive. They're going to play this stupid zone and let Tom Brady dissect them. Unless I see that change, I can't go with them there. I have a good feeling if Oakland plays them, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to go after New England. They're going to test them. They're going to come after Tom Brady with some pressure. I have more confidence in Houston's defense to do that than I do in Pittsburgh's. Houston played them pretty well in the playoffs last year. I had Brock Osweiler, so that didn't help. but the running back for New England in that game, Dion Lewis, had a career game, man. He scored a touchdown receiving and kickoff return. That dude took over. So I believe there are teams who can beat New England, but I'm not ready to pick those teams to beat New England, especially if New England gets home field advantage and the teams have to come up there to Boston. So now I'm going to go New England, and I think in the NFC, I'm going to give the Packers a slight edge over Dallas because I think Dallas, with that running game and the big offensive line, they're going to have a pretty good shot. Atlanta, he is. But look, Atlanta's not just going to just lay down. Now that I am sure they're going to come out and they're going to do what they can. You're going to have to take that title or the conference title from them. Yeah, I like Green Bay to come out there. So yeah, I have the Packers and Patriots. But Patrick, when I tell you I was this close to saying the Raiders, I mean, that close. But I'm not, man. I can't do it. I can't pick them over New England. Not right now.
Well, I can tell you this. Whoever comes out of the AFC is either going to be one of two teams. It's going to be Oakland or it's going to be New England. And there's only one person that changes my opinion. His name is Tom freaking Brady. As long as that man's under center, he's going. I got New England coming out of the AFC. And when I tell you, you know how you saying when I tell you I got it, Doc, I was this close to picking Oakland. I want Oakland to go, man. This team is solid.
I love what they're doing there. I love what they're doing in Oakland
too. Come next year, there's a good chance I might pick them. But Tom Brady, the man, there was only one way you were going to beat Atlanta last year, and that's hold on to the ball. And the man did exactly what he needed to do. I got New England. Coming out of the North, I got Green Bay versus Atlanta in the NFC Championship. But it's Aaron freaking Rodgers, man. I'm gonna agree with you, man. I got Green Bay versus New England. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you my pick, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. You're probably gonna be like, ooh, okay. I got Green Bay 30-21.
So
I'm putting
the Packers
out right now. Packers win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. And that's interesting, man. Can't go against New England, man. I got New England winning, but I think it'll be close, man. I'm going 30. I'll probably go 34-28. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. But, yeah, man, New England, to the coaching, man. Coaching. Bill Belichick. I don't know what it is, but it seems like and this is crazy because you have 32 teams with head coaches who are supposed to be the best of the best, but it just seems like Bill Belichick always makes the right adjustments. He always is able to adjust on the fly.
I can tell you when they went in, when New England went in at the half against Atlanta, I can tell you exactly what Bill Belichick said. We're going to run 90 plays this second half. Now get your butts out there and let's play. That's all I'm saying. We're going to run 90 plays this second half. I'll be damned if they didn't come close. Second half, they ran like 79 plays, dude. 79. 9. Atlanta's defense was just done.
And Bill Belichick, man. And when they scored that touchdown to make it 28-9, I said at that moment, I said, this is a huge drive for Atlanta coming up. And I was actually talking to Bear, our boy Bear. Shout out to you, Bear. We talked to our boy Bear on text. I said, right when New England scored that touchdown, I said, this is a big drive for Atlanta, because if they go 3 and out, start to happen now. Stuff can start to flip around. Atlanta went 3 and out on their next drive, because that drive where they made it 28-9, they ran 15, 16 plays. So I mean,
14 on that play. They drove down the next time with a possession with 16 plays.
So I mean, the plays were just
2 drives. They had 30.
Yeah, and so the plays were just adding up for that defense, and they were getting no rest, because Atlanta's offense wasn't staying on the field. So I just said, well, this could get interesting now, and then everything just kind of snowballed from there. So I just like just the coaching, man. Again, people want to say whatever they want to say about Bill Belichick, and again, I'm not saying New England can't be beat. They could get beat, but if you're going to try to sell to me New England being good for over a decade and a half is all based on cheating, you're crazy. You're insane if that's what you're going to tell me, because they have 5 Super Bowl titles, been in the playoffs pretty much every year. I think there might be 1 or 2 years they didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, 2002 and 2008. That 2008 year, that's when Tom Brady got hurt, and they were 11-5 with Matt Castle at quarterback. So, I mean, you can't tell me New England hasn't been good. You can't tell me all that is cheating. That's dumb. That's crazy. That's stupid. There's some skill there. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Exactly. So, yeah, man. So I have New England winning the Super Bowl 34-28. But yeah, I do agree with you that they'll be playing Green Bay in there. Well, you have anything else to add before we wrap this NFL preview up?
Yeah, I got one thing. I wouldn't be surprised to watch New England repeat. It's when you got Tom Brady under center and you got Bill Belichick, that's your head coach. Man, those two work so well together. It's sickening. I mean, a lot of people, don't get me wrong. A lot of people give me a hard time about Atlanta losing. A lot of people. I mean, I can pull up on my phone. I probably had the better part of 70, 80 text messages about people just dogging me out. And look, my team lost, but they lost to the best team in all of football. Carolina didn't make it. Chicago didn't make it. Green Bay didn't make it. I can name about 30 other teams that didn't make it to the Super Bowl. How good is your team? Mine was the best in the NFC. And it took a team like New England to beat them. Just saying. That's my wrap. I'm done.
All right. I wish I could come up with a rap like that, but again, I'll just be happy if my team wins 5 games. So we'll end it there. I hope everybody enjoyed this NFL preview from the Breath of Fresh Air. Let us know what you think about these picks. And do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Who do you have going to the Super Bowl? Who do you have going to the wild cards, and who do you have winning the divisions? Let us know. You can catch this show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google Plus, and more shows will be coming up. So we'll be watching everything going on during the NFL, and we will have our updates ahead. So until then, everybody enjoy the upcoming season. We have Kansas City and New England opening up the season on Thursday. Enjoy that game, and we will talk soon.